Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Redneck Light. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the idler arm in your Samsung dryer. I've actually done this before on my own dryer. I repaired it, the original idler arm. Basically the bearing has some kind of design flaw where it fails pretty easily. It starts out as squeaking really bad, and then eventually it melts itself apart and breaks. There is a way to fix it. I actually fixed the original one on mine and it's still running 5 or 6 years later after. I'll show you both ways. Honestly, this was only 10 bucks. If it starts squeaking, you probably just want to replace it. So let's get started. So obviously I already took this apart so I could figure out what the problem was. It's really easy to take these apart. It's literally all Phillips head screws. Basically what I'm going to show now is me assembling the dryer but in reverse so that you can get an idea of how to take it apart. So I'm playing my disassembly in reverse, so pardon any oddities, but make sure you unplug your dryer, and if you have gas, turn the gas off. We won't be touching any part of the gas system, but you just want to make sure that it's turned off. Behind the dryer, there's 2 screws on the top cover that you need to take out, and this is all Phillips head screws for this whole thing. The top cover slides back, and then you can just pull it off. Then at the top there's 3 screws, I believe. Yes, 1, 2, 3 screws to take off the top. The front panel kind of snaps on top. There's 2 plugs you need to unplug from the control panel. And then the front cover just kind of comes off with those guide pins at the bottom. And the door comes off with 2 screws. It's held in with a keyhole. You just pull up on the door and then you're able to pull it out. There's 2 screws at the bottom of the opening here that have washers. Make sure you keep track of those 2. 2 more screws on the left there, and then the latch, 2 screws there that you can pull out. At the top there's 4 screws that hold the front to the dryer, and there's 2 tabs you need to kind of unsnap to get the front loose, and then at the bottom there's just some slots that you lift up on to take the whole front of the dryer off. Oh, also the 1 plug there at the top. Next, that little plastic piece at top should just come off after you take those screws off. This top brace, I believe there are 4 screws that you need to take out, 2 at the bar, or 3 on each side, and then you have to kind of wiggle it out with those 2 tabs there to get it fully out of the top. Then the bottom shroud, 3 screws, part of the lint trap that just comes out like so. And then the front part of the drum, there's 2 screws on either side, and then a little keyhole. You have to pull up on that assembly and then out, and then the drum will drop down and be loose. Make sure you keep track of your screws and separate them by type. Now, if your dryer's broken, the belt will be pretty easy to remove. You just have to slide it off the top and then let it sit down there, and then you'll be able to pull the drum off the back and then carefully move it out, and you'll have access to the inside of the dryer. So I'll show you this piece right here. This is the idler arm, or the tensioner arm really, that puts tension on the belt that spins the whole drum. And as you can see, this one in my mom's dryer, the front of the roller melted off, and this bearing is all seized up. It's very hard to turn. This should spin freely. Like I said, it's a very common issue. It starts out as squeaking really loud, and then eventually this bearing seizes up, and then this, from all the friction, melts. One thing you can do temporarily at least is if you take some grease, you can actually pack this bearing back up and get it to spin freely. If you pull this out and the idler arm isn't completely torn apart like this one is, you might be able to get away with that. That's how I fixed my dryer. I did that about 5 years ago and it's still working fine. But if you've got the money, this is only 10 bucks on Amazon, the replacement part for this. I would just replace it. Especially, I believe they redesigned this to have more ball bearings so it doesn't fail as easily. So here's the new part. One thing, whenever you get a new part of something, just take a quick look at it to make sure that they look the same. Even if there's little differences, like you'll notice there's an indent in this one, there's no indent in this one, that's not going to make any functional difference in the dryer. You just want to make sure like your holes are in the right place. Make sure the roller wheel's about the same size. Since this is just a tensioner arm, this one's actually slightly bigger than the old arm, but since it's a tensioner, it doesn't have to be the exact same size in this case. But you'll notice this one spins much more freely and has a little bit more grease in it from what I can feel here. I've got the camera in the back of the dryer kind of showing this from the other angle. You'll notice some of this red here, that's actually not rust, that's the old grease. It's kind of dried out. One thing you could do is take a little bit of grease and just kind of put it there so the idler arm can move a little free. It's not strictly necessary because this really shouldn't move that much once you've got the drum under tension. But basically the arm will be installed here. You'll drive a screw there. Line up with the hole. I'm going to start it hand tight. Now, a lot of times I'll use power tools, but in this situation I'm going to use just a regular screwdriver, just so I have a little bit more control. You know you did it right because it's screwed in tight, but this arm can still move freely. So what you can do is kind of take your idler arm and your screwdriver. You can slip it on kind of at this angle. Once it's down there, it's going to be basically loose. And then once you put the belt on, as it goes around the drum, it's going to tension this arm, and this will hold it tense against the drum. And that's kind of how that piece functions there. So next thing we need to do is get the belt back in here. Since you've got it all apart anyway, take a look at the belt just to make sure it's okay. It really shouldn't be that bad, but check for any kind of cracks or tears in it. If there are, you can get a new belt. So once you've got the belt in, the way that this is routed, the belt's going to wrap around the motor there, and then this tension arm, this piece is going to go around the drum, and then this piece is going to go around here. And this is how it'll maintain tension on that motor drive and around the drum itself. Now this is going to be a little hard to set up with the drum off, so what you'll probably need to do is put the drum in, drape this around the drum, and then do the tension and route the belt while the drum is in place. Now that could be a little difficult because you have to do a little bit of it blind. If you kind of start out with everything lined up and then kind of understand how that belt routing works, you should be able to do it, but this will probably be the most difficult part when you have the drum on there, is just routing that belt. But it shouldn't fall out or anything. Actually, it'll make it a little easier to get the belt around it. Around the drum little by little. You shouldn't have to fight it too bad. And you're trying to get it to this center section right here. And then once you've got it roughly lined up there, there's access here and then access over here. And like I said, you're going to have to do this blind. So this is kind of hard to demonstrate, but basically you're going to pull this arm back as hard as best you can, and then that should allow you to take the belt and route it like this. But you can stretch this arm back really far, and then it's pretty forgiving as long as you've got the belt lined up on the motor, that the grooves are all in the grooves of the motor. You should be able to get this in without having to look at it. But once you're done, just look in there to make sure everything looks okay and feels okay. So now we're going to do our reassembly. There's a bunch of pieces, but like I said, they're all held together with Phillips head screws. Alright, so all these are different screw types. The vast majority are going to be these squared off ones. There's a couple with points, a couple that are shorter, these two that have washers that go on the front, and then these two. Alright, so this piece goes on first. There's little key slots. Line the drum up with the front piece, and then the rollers underneath. You'll have to kind of work into place, but once you get these in their slots, to get everything aligned, and it's just going to be kind of working it a little bit at a time until kind of get all the pieces in place. Give the drum a little spin. Make sure it's not bound up. Make sure that the little cloth, this little cloth piece up here, that kind of seals the drum, none of it's pinched or misaligned on both the front and the back. This is going to first squeeze up into, use the, this one's also got little alignment slots. That way you can line the top piece up. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I probably should have done this before I screwed this on, but this wiring harness needs to come through. Anyways, put this into the plastic clips here to just kind of help retain them. That'll pop out right there, and the control panel will plug into that. Next is this little plastic panel thing. I don't really know what it's called or what it's for, but these two clips, and they're a little chewed up, so even at the factory it looks like they had quite a time. Snapping them in here, and then these are going to line up with these holes right here. So actually, you should line them up like that. And then that'll plug in like so. We've got the front of the dryer. And at the very bottom, you'll see there's 3 slots, and then at the bottom of the dryer there's 3 hooks. You're going to put those slots, line them up with the hooks, and then this comes up like this. Now this harness that we had earlier, you're going to plug that in here, and this is going to come up, and there's two tabs here that this is going to snap into. It may not snap depending on how old it is, but it should help you kind of put that in place. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Now if you never realized this, you can actually change the way the door opens depending on whether you put the latch on this side or this side. You just put the hinge on the other side and you can change which direction the door opens. So if you've ever struggled, if you've got a laundry room that isn't compatible with the way it opens, you just flip the put these on opposite sides. Attach that latch there. Up here you're going to use these fine threaded screws. And down here's the other fine threaded screw. So these 2 screws with washers, I don't know why, but they go down here. I left the little fine thread screws in there. This screw is opposite like this for a reason. That's how you can hang the door before you screw it in, so you don't have to hold it up while you're trying to screw all this stuff in. You can see the little keyhole right here. You take that screw, line it up with the keyhole, and then let it sit down. You can test it out, make sure it lines up. Next thing, we got the front control panel. So this one can be a little bit difficult to line up, but basically there's 2 tabs here and another 2 tabs here. The long tabs line up there. You're going to plug in this plug from your harness from the front panel that you'll also plug in, and then you'll kind of rotate it down. Once you've got all that lined up, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Now the last piece is the top panel. Now those 2 little gold tabs over there, that's what this actually screws into. You're going to start out, you might be a little bit away from it, and you'll see there's some slots here that you can slide the panel forward toward. Sometimes it's easier to use a hand screwdriver if you can't quite get the right angle on it. If you've got an electric dryer, you've just got one plug to put in. If you've got a gas dryer, hopefully you didn't touch the gas other than to turn it off before. You just got to turn it back on with the little valve back there, and then plug in to the regular outlet. So come down here, put that in, put this in here. We see if she works. So we're going to set this to air fluff just so that there's no heat on this first one. And there she goes. It's even quieter now, I think. Now with these Samsung dryers, the heating element is on this side of the dryer. So all you really have to do, you don't have to wait a long time, just hold your hand down by the dryer over here, and once it starts warming up, you know that the heating element's working. And that's for whether you're using gas or electric. So we'll put it on time dry. I've got it on high just so it'll get going. And obviously you'll have to wait a couple minutes. Okay, yeah, even after like a minute or two, I can already feel it starting to warm up on the side there. Also test the door open, and yeah, it's nice and warm in there. You can feel the hot air come out of it. So I think we're all set. So overall, pretty simple process. It looks daunting to take apart the whole dryer, but really it's just a bunch of Phillips head screws. And everything's really easy to put back together. The tolerances are it's really forgiving as you're putting it back together and taking it apart, and it's a cheap part to replace, so there's no reason not to give it a shot. So I hope you liked the video. Please give me a like, subscribe, it really helps a lot. The part that I use I'm going to put in the video description, along with some of the tools that I used and everything else. If you click those links, it helps a lot. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you next time.